Well, g'day everyone. Wanted to talk to you today about something that Freewell have sent me. It's something to do with your iPhone. In fact, it's a way of using NDs and other filters with your iPhone and being able to control your shutter speed. Now, you really want to do that because if you want a real filmic look, you want to double your frame rate and then keep it at that, lock it in. So that's one thing that you've actually got to try and do. And the only way you can do that is by adding an ND filter. And also they've sent me a little handle as well that you can start and stop record, and it also has a little extension that I'll show you too as well. But the system itself starts with this, and I'll show you this in a minute, which is your cover. Now you can get this for lots of different size iPhones, so you do have to make sure that you order the correct one. That is the holder that I'll take you through as well and show you that. And then it comes with a couple of different filters that I've got, which is an ND 1 to 5. I think they also have another one which is 6 to 9 as well. There's also a diffusion filter as well that I'll show you too. That's here. I'll just quickly show you sort of how that works. So there is a whole stack of other filters that you can get with this as well. I think there's some cinematic filters that you can get that add your light streaks and things like that too that you can use. But the case itself is quite nice. I have found though that the magnetic portion to this is very, very strong. It's much stronger than my Apple case that I've been using. I use a car mount that holds on the front here, and it often falls off, particularly if you go over a bump or something. This holds, so it's very, very strong. It is plastic, but it seems like it's a fairly good quality plastic. Part here is where you will attach your lenses and things like that on it. So that's what you can put on here. Apart from that, it's just a good case. I mean, I actually really like it. So that's that component to it. Then you've got this nice handle that you can see here. There's a little adapter that you have here that you can stick on a string sort of hand grip that they give you. I haven't put that on. In fact, I'm just going to take that off for the moment. You do get a cold shoe mount here, and there's also mounting points on the top as well. It has an Arca Swiss bottom, which is great because everything I use is Arca Swiss. So it does have an Arca Swiss plate at the bottom down here as well. And there is a control on the top here, which is your on and off, and that's your button to record. So when you turn this on, you can actually record from this. And inside here, you can replace the battery as well. I haven't opened this up, so I don't know what that looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick it down this side. I think it's better opposite the lens here. Also, if you're right-handed, it's nice to be able to, press the button with your right hand. So you can see that I've just got it attached through here. Now the great part now is I can just switch this little front switch on like that, and then it will actually take a shot. If you wanted to as well, you could put a light on the top through here as well. If you wanted to do it that way, you could even just attach it onto a tripod mount from the bottom here using the Arca Swiss plate as well. Now, a couple of things with this now too is you could hold it like a camera. So in other words, I could just hold it like this and then operate the button at the top. So I could then just shoot it. Now, it does give you something to grip onto. You can sort of see through here that it will give you something to grip onto as well. The other thing too is, which I love, is that this will now fold down. If you fold it down, you can then pull this out and it becomes like a selfie grip that you could turn around, have the camera facing you, and you can be doing things up fairly high. You can rotate this around and do it all different ways. I mean, it really is flexible on how you want to use this. I think it's an amazing little piece of gear, this. I mean, it doesn't go extremely high, but it's certainly high enough where you can do a selfie if you're using the wide lens to get your surroundings in as well, and then it will just simply fold back in. Now, the other thing too is, with this, if you wanted to, this front component here, which is where you turn the camera on or off, can just pull out like that, and you can attach it onto the back here. It's just got a magnet there, and then you can use it by pressing here, so that if you were doing selfies and things, you can be controlling your camera from that point there as well, which is, it's terrific. So I think that's great. The only thing you'd want to do is just, be careful with that, because you could potentially lose it if you knocked it or something, because it does sit on there, but it's only sitting on with a magnet. So I would be sort of careful about how you're using that. But, it's a great little feature that you can use both ways. I'll stick this back in just sort of show you how it attaches back in here. So you'll see that if I push it back into the top there, it then clips back in. So, it's just a matter of taking that out and then putting it onto the point which is there, which is a really nice feature. Now, the filters themselves, this is the, I think this was the 1 to 5 stop. Now, they're all magnetic. So they come with a nice cover, so it does have a nice cover here. Now, I've found with the filter, it's best to line up. There is a sort of little logo there, and there's logos here. If you line them up, it will just sort of lock into place. So, and you feel it really click in. It's not going to come off. I mean, it really is quite steady. Then you could be holding it with this hand, and then you would manipulate the ND filter that you'll see through here. Now, just to show you that, let me go here. You'll notice if I look through here, you can see that it's clear, and if I go like that, you can see how much light that's taken out. So, it's really good if you want to do that. That way you can control your exposure. Like I said, you can lock your shutter speed in, and, you won't be running such a high shutter speed, which can give you the jaggies. So the diffusion filter is exactly the same. Again, it will just fit on. Now, if you're looking at it, when you're looking at diffusion filters, they have sort of a very, very fine dots running through. I think that's how they actually work, but it will diffuse the light, and I'll show you examples of that while I'm talking, because you get this beautiful look of glow that you see in all the movies and things like that, and it's a lovely effect. In fact, I often leave these on all the time on my video cameras that I shoot, particularly beautiful if you're doing weddings and things like that. So that's a really nice filter to have as well. And again, that just locks on the front exactly the same way. You can see there's the logos that are there, and you just put that in and it will lock into place. You can see it just looks clear. I also love the fact too that they have these great covers that you can leave the cover on there too. If you wanted to protect it, you can leave the cover on that. If you're putting the camera down or whatever, you could leave that on and just take it off. It does protect the filter, so that's a really nice thing. The great part now is that when you're using something like Filmic Pro, you can lock the exposure in, and then you can use this to adjust your exposure. And I'll sort of show a quick example of that as I'm talking, because you'll see it'll go from bright to a correct exposure. So that's what you would do here. So instead of using your camera app to get your exposure, you will actually be using this to get your exposure. So you lock your settings in and then just dial this in if you wanted to go that way. Now, depending on how bright this is, like if it was a real sunny day, very, very bright, well, then you might need one that's a bit stronger than this, and I think that's probably why they have a 6 to 9. You could go up with that as well. This probably will do for most occasions where it's not too bright, but like I said, if you did want to go really bright, you would probably need the other filter. But it is a great way of using something like Filmic Pro and being able to get lovely sort of filmic looks out of it, where you're not getting that jaggy type look. If you run your shutter speed up way too high, which is what will happen if you just do this normally, or if you use the normal camera app, it will be very, very sort of jagged and not smooth as we're used to seeing in cinematography where you go to the movies and things like that. What do I think about the whole system? Well, I think it's terrific. I absolutely love this handle. I think this is great. Having the ability to be able to click on here to start your exposure, take your shot, is great. You just turn that off and it's just a Bluetooth connection, so there's no physical connection there. It's all done through Bluetooth, and I've found it works great. Love the Arca Swiss on the bottom here as well. The grip is really nice because it gives you something to hold on to as well. And I love the way that you can turn this onto your Selfie Grip and also put your control up through here onto this point there, which I think is great, because then you can be controlling it from there as well. I think that's a really great feature. It's super handy to be able to go into all different positions. So I think it's really good, and it's a very, very small type system to carry around, so you could easily take this anywhere that you want to go, because it's only going to take up that much room if you stick it in your bag or pocket or whatever you wanted to take it with. I think it's a great system. Thank you so much Freewell for sending me this. I really, really like it. Certainly going to be using it. I use my iPhone for so much filming, and this is going to be really, really handy. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Apart from that, everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.